In Visual Studio, you often need to work with large amounts of HTML and C# code. To help you deal with such large amounts of code, Visual Studio provides the ability to expand and collapse the code into regions. This allows you to get an overview of the code and expand only the parts that you are interested in. In this lesson, you will expand and collapse code in both a C# and an HTML file. To begin, open the My Project sample file from your Sample Files folder. And you're going to expand and collapse some C# code. First, open the Code Behind file of register.aspx, if it isn't open already. You'll find it in the Account folder. You learned how to open Code Behind files in Lesson 1.7. Code Behind files contain C# code, which is used to turn a static, read-only HTML web page into a dynamic ASP.NET page. Dynamic pages can execute code when users perform actions, such as clicking on buttons. Now, click the minus icon next to the line namespace myproject.account. The code below it seems to disappear. Don't worry though, this is a feature of Visual Studio that allows you to collapse blocks of code in order to simplify the view when a page contains a large amount of code. Expand the code again now by clicking the plus sign icon. You can use any of the plus and minus icons on this page to expand and collapse different areas of code. Although you can expand and collapse code using the plus and minus icons, there are a few advanced ways to expand and collapse your code. If you click Edit, Outlining, Collapse to Definitions, your code will be collapsed so that the biggest areas of code are hidden. This is often the most useful way to view your code, as you can then selectively expand only the code that you want to see. Next, open the HTML code of register.aspx. To do this, simply double-click on register.aspx in the Solution Explorer. Now you're going to expand and collapse some regions in this HTML code. First, you may need to wait for the minus buttons to appear. Visual Studio may take some time to process an HTML file before the buttons will appear to expand and collapse its code. Sometimes the buttons may not appear at all, even after waiting for some time. If this happens, simply close the file and reopen it. Now click the first minus button next to ASP Content. Once again, all of the page's code seems to disappear. But as before, it has just been collapsed out of sight. Expand the code again now by clicking the plus button. The code reappears. Now close Visual Studio and you've now completed Lesson 1.12. Expand and collapse code regions.